Wherever you are in the world, welcome to the preview show of Bales and Buzzers. I'm Johnny Bell, also known as Buzzer, your World Cup Cricket Show host.
And I'm Ryan Bailey, also known as Bales, the resident World Cup cricket expert.
This is the show where we will bring to you every single day during the World Cup. We'll review, we'll preview, we'll chat, we'll interview, we'll read out your tweets, and we'll also have a little, give you the best odds on the day. But most importantly, what we're going to bring for you is all things Irish, anything to do with the Irish squad. No matter how big or how small it's going to be, you'll be sure to hear it first here on Bales and Buzzers. This show is brought to you in association with currencyfair.com, the money transfer experts. And if you want your first transfer to be for free, be sure to visit the slogsweep.com and follow the Currency Fair links. Well, Buzz, you're Bales. Yes, the wait is almost over.
Yeah, finally, Johnny, the months of preparation and planning have come down to this, and we're now just a couple of hours away from the start of the tournament.
Yeah, it's been a long wait, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to kick off with two cracking matches, New Zealand, Sri Lanka first up, and then the big one at the MCG, Australia against England. So yeah, really good start.
Well, as we have you as the expert here on the show, I'd love to hear your predictions. Who's going to win it?
Realistically, you have to look at three teams, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia. The latter are probably the favourites. But again, they've got such a well-balanced side. They've, power at the top of the order. They've got guile in the middle of the order with someone like Glenn Maxwell.
Oh.
And then they've got a potent attack that are used to bowling in those sort of conditions, and they can get the best out of the conditions. Then South Africa, they've high expectations naturally, of course, because they're such a good team.
Yeah.
They've got some world-class players in De Villiers and Amla, but again, the batting could rely on those two quite heavily. And then New Zealand, sort of the dark horses of the tournament. Many people are predicting that they'll go well because it's in their home conditions, and they've sort of riding the crest of a wave. So yeah, you can't really look past those three. But I think Australia.
So we're sitting here on World Cup final day in 6 weeks' time.
I think it has to be Australia. The other finalists, it depends as well on the makeup of who goes through to the quarterfinals as well. Who gets who in the quarterfinals and the semis, but Australia, South Africa would be a pretty good final.
I find it very hard to look beyond Australia. I really do. I think they've got such depth, both in their batting and in their bowling. Yeah. So, let's just take that a little bit further then, because we're just going to a little preview on tonight's game. But, let's look at some of the... Are there any letdowns? We haven't talked about any of the other teams, like the Indias or the Pakistans.
India are defending champions, but they've had a bit of rough time of late in Australia with that tri-series. They haven't gone well. They've looked a pretty demoralised bunch. Conditions don't suit them at all. Out of all the 14 teams, you could really argue that India, with their bowling attack, it doesn't suit them one bit. Batting-wise, they're always strong. They've got Kohli and Dhoni, who are extremely powerful players, especially in one-day cricket. So, they're going to have a good chance, but I just can't see them going, that extra step, when they meet someone like Australia or South Africa in the knockout stages. Yeah,
and I might need you to help me with some of the really long names on some of the teams.
Sri Lanka trump everyone with that. So.
Yeah, so we might have a bit of preparation for the names there. Yeah. But listen, tell me, let's move on. So, we're going to now look at the some of the individual performers, because there's some class players there, both in batting and bowling. Who are your standout tops for batting and bowling in general in the competition?
Yeah, you always look at the regulars, the likes of Chris Gayle and De Villiers, and they're all going to be up there towards the run scoring charts come the end of the tournament. But if you look at someone like David Warner, who's really had an excellent couple of years, and even Steve Smith, he's not captain of Australia. He's in the test team. He's really concentrating his batting efforts, and he's in superb form. So someone like Smith, I like to see the odds on him being top run scorer and put a few euro on him, because he's certainly
performing presently.
Yeah,
and it's funny because you talked there about Chris Gayle, because I would love to see him get a lot of runs, but the one team
game
I'd like, he doesn't want to get runs is next.
The thing about Chris
Sunday
Gayle is you can't really look at his previous form. You just don't know what he's going to do at the top of the order. And again, not looking too far ahead to that Ireland game on Sunday, but if Ireland can get him out early and make inroads into the West Indian batting order, they've got a real chance. Yeah,
I agree with you. And really, I suppose, viewers, what you're really looking to see within the Irish team, who does Bales think are going to be the standout performance in the Irish teams, both with the bat and the ball?
Yeah, there's the obvious candidates, the likes of Kevin O'Brien, and sort of all eyes will be on him because of what he did in 2011. He's probably the best known Irish cricketer worldwide. So, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him, quite a lot of expectation as well for him to deliver. But someone like Andrew Balbirnie has been arguably the most informed batsman in the whole Irish team, over the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
He's come, you wouldn't say he's come out of the shadows a bit, but 12 months ago you wouldn't say he was a definite for this World Cup. So he's been in great form. Of course, his match-winning innings in the final warm-up game against Scotland.
Night before last,
So,
or against Bangladesh.
Yeah, against Bangladesh, sorry, yeah. So, definitely watch out for him, and a lot of teams won't know of him. So he's sort of an unknown quantity, which Ireland can exploit there. Yeah.
Opening pair bowling in the Irish team.
It'd probably be Young and Sorensen, but I know Mooney opened the bowling against Bangladesh. So if Phil Simmons likes to use maybe a sort of a medium pacer opening the bowling, and if he can get 10 overs out of Mooney, then that's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I think will we get beyond the pool stages? What's your prediction?
We need 3 wins.
Yeah.
Obviously going to target those 2 games against Zimbabwe and the UAE in the middle of the pool. West Indies, we know we have to upset one of the full member sides, and I think the West Indies is the best chance. You can argue it falls at a bad time because Ireland's, they won't be into the full flow of things tournament-wise, but then you can also argue that they can catch the West Indies cold. First game of the tournament in Nelson, quite a small little ground. West Indies haven't had the best of preparations. They've been in a bit of turmoil recently, so
they nearly had a scare the other night against Scotland.
But again, it just shows you Ramdon, I think, scored 86 or something. It just shows you they do have more strings to their bow than just Gale, and it's going to be a tough game for Ireland, but it's a great chance to start the campaign with a bit of momentum and really open up the tournament. Yeah,
well, on our second show now, which goes out on Sunday, we'll be previewing the Ireland-West Indies game, so we'll talk further about that then, because it's one of the biggest games that the country has ever seen, so we really look forward to that. Okay, let's look at tonight's game. 2 games, New Zealand, Sri Lanka.
The opening game, New Zealand, Sri Lanka. I think we spoke a bit earlier about New Zealand. They've been labelled as the dark horses of this tournament. They're riding the crest of a wave, home conditions, really good form. I just hope they don't sort of buckle under the pressure. They're peaking at the right form, at the right time, So, definitely watch out for them. They should get a win against Sri Lanka because these two have played quite a lot of cricket against each other in the last month. So, you can't really look past New Zealand to open the campaign with a win.
Just quickly, and I know you probably want to spend a bit of time on this, Bales, but England-Australia, Melbourne, sellout.
Yeah, it's a cracking start to the tournament. And I think, these two sides, like New Zealand and Sri Lanka, have played quite a lot against each other in recent times, particularly that tri-series. So they'd be familiar with each other. But I just think Australia, having won all those games against England in the tri-series, that they'll go into it with maybe, they go into a momentum and confidence, but maybe they go in and they might be taking things for granted a bit. This England side, they're not full flowing at the moment. So England, they could cause an upset, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could, silence the MCG 100,000, because after all, there'd be 100,000 Australians in that ground, and they're expecting an opening day win.
Yeah, as Richard said, that'd be quite a day.
Certainly, yeah. Throughout the tournament, we want your contributions via social media. So on Twitter, you can get in touch with @theSlogSweep, where you can use the hashtag Bales and Buzzers. So send us your tweets, the Blarney Army, anywhere in Australia, wherever you're backing green, send us your photos. And also on Facebook, facebook.com/theSlogSweep. And you can also get in touch with us via the website, theslogsweep.com. So there's no excuses, plenty of ways to get in touch, and we look forward to seeing your thoughts and predictions.
So please do contact us. We look forward to hearing from you, because we're going to be here every single day during the World Cup. So we look forward to spending time with you. Thank you. This is Bales and Buzzers, a Slog Sweep production.